All right, Dr. K, thank you. It is time now for the Business of Health, brought to you by Hendricks Regional Health. Well, the largest healthcare-focused law firm in the country is based right here in Indiana, and it's celebrating 50 years in business. Barbara Lewis has more in the Business of Health. Barb?
Gary, thank you very much. Well, it is an understatement to say that healthcare has changed. Everything, like the mapping of the human genome to what's happening in Washington this week, has transformed healthcare in the U.S. Hall Render, Killian, Heath & Lyman is a local health firm with a national presence. Its president and managing partner of the law firm, John Ryan, joins me now. It's good to have you here, and congratulations.
Thank you.
So 50 years ago, Bill Hall, first client, the Indiana Hospital Association.
That's
and
right.
A lot has changed since then. I mean, tell me about the kind of the scope of where you are now.
Well, geographically, we're in 12 offices across the country, as far west as Anchorage, Alaska, and as far east, of course, as Washington, D.C. But our largest attorney population remains here in Indiana, with about 100 attorneys of our 200 practicing here in Indianapolis. The scope of what we do has changed dramatically since then as well. I think back to a time when Bill Hall started practicing just at the inception of Medicare, and think about the complexities of health law today, and it's remarkable that we've been able to be a part of it.
So let's talk about what's happening today. So in Washington, there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of uncertainty. So what are your clients focusing on now? What are they asking you about, and what are they asking you to do?
Well, they're asking us to read a lot of tea leaves right now because there's so much unpredictability in what's going on in Washington. Of course, we just went through this not too long ago with the first round of healthcare reform, and here we are a few years later, again with an unpredictable time. And for many of our clients, the biggest question to ask is, what's the future hold? Because changing and evolving in the direction that complements the new regulatory environment that we'll live in is going to be critical to them. But in the meantime, they're a little reluctant to make many moves pending better understanding of what's going to happen. Okay,
so I won't ask you to read the tea leaves too many more times in the next few minutes, but let's talk about how Indianapolis is poised. You know, your largest presence is here. How are we doing in terms of healthcare?
You know, again, thinking historically, the city here in Indianapolis has grown remarkably over the last several years, and of course, with more people, you need more health care. And so as I look at our healthcare environment today, it's very robust. We have some of the best healthcare systems in the country based right here in the metropolitan area. The other thing that I'm seeing with more frequency is the startup environment in healthcare. Today, you see a lot of money, private equity, venture capital pouring into healthcare startups, both on the clinical side, but also on the device side, in other ways to help advance healthcare just beyond the provider experience.
Okay, so politics aside, government aside, what are some of the complexities? I mean, when you think about what's happening in healthcare and what you're being asked to do, what are some of the biggest challenges, or what is the biggest focus?
Well, you know, most of our clients are focused on one thing, and that's delivering quality care at a reasonable price. And yet the regulatory environment has become so much more complex, and so in many ways, it becomes very distracting to, again, that simple objective, which is to deliver quality care. And so we think that our part in that is to make that as easy for them as possible. And if we can do that, then they can focus on patient care in a way that will improve the society as much as the bottom line.
All right. Well, John Ryan, thank you so much for being on the program. Again, it's always good to have you here, and congratulations.
Thank you, Barb.
Gary, back to you.
Well, thanks for watching Inside Indiana Business on YouTube. For the latest statewide business news, be sure to visit InsideIndianaBusiness.com and subscribe to our free daily e-newsletters by clicking on the link.